Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about some reflections on how rap music, Chicano rap, gangster rap really negatively influenced me as a youth because I often hear atheists mock how religious people view bad lyrics in music and claim it has no effect on the consciousness, yet at the same time, will say classic music, makes you more emotional and more in tune. How music can calm you down for meditation or motivate you to vote for someone because they put in a political ad, but then turn around and mock religious people for their concerns over certain lyrics and artists. Now, I think a good mental exercise for some people to do when it comes to music is to ask themselves, is this music releasing the pain or is it inflaming the pain? I was a very angry child, so because I didn't have a mom and dad, and I used female rap. I'm not going to name the female artists because it's disgusting, but they were gangbanger female rappers, kind of niche out of California, the whole Chicano rap scene. And just the things they said, I can see why I was led astray because I would listen to them early in the mornings when I was delivering newspapers, and the beat mixed with the lyrics and whatnot, not having somebody to just philosophize with me, to give me a sort of elder wisdom daily. I sort of clinged on to these female rappers as a sort of musical mom in a way, which sounds very odd, but their antics I thought was empowering me, making me stronger, making me sexy, making me a sexual prowess type of person. But in reality, it was leading me to a path of violence, anger, resentment, and bitterness, and not allowing me to process certain thoughts properly because I was using the music to push out the ideas and to block my mind with nonsense. And so when Islam commands us to to essentially divest ourselves of our music habits by not listening to it, it makes sense once you slowly break out of that. Now when I hear music, it's sort of irritating. Once in a while I'll maybe hear the scores of Game of Thrones or something like that, and like about 5 minutes and I'm like, I don't need this, right? But it's fascinating how I let go of it, and my mental health and the way in which I perceive and operate within the world is different. It's a very deep sense of despair when you're listening to music that fuels this sort of adrenaline, cortisol in you. And that doesn't mean I'm telling you that the whole weird Christian rock music, like where they're like, ooh, where they're like in a trance and acting strange and bouncing around sometimes. I'm not telling you that that's any better at all, right? I just want you to process how that music, regardless of what it is doing to you. It's doing to you. I remember one time where I went to the gym, I forgot my headphones, and I thought I couldn't work out because I didn't have music. And I'm thinking to myself, I was so addicted to music that I thought I couldn't work out without it, and I wouldn't work out as hard unless I had it. And now I'll listen to like news or something, or there was a couple times I put on like a video game on my phone or on the treadmill or something. I glance at it a couple times. But for the most part, I could just be with my own thoughts. Divesting myself, disengaging myself with music allowed me to actually push more of my thoughts to the forefront so that I wouldn't be thinking about them when I'm going to bed and then leading to insomnia. If you notice, you have these thoughts in the shower, you'll be thinking and thinking, that period goes away, this presence of mind, and music pushes that out. It can take away the monotony, but at the same time, it's the pusher of monotony. The same crappy pop music in stores, when you go out to eat, it can just ruin the atmosphere. I remember I tried to go to this diner. I went to this diner. We went there, right? First time there, I'm excited to try the breakfast stuff. Don't go out to eat very much because I can just make it myself. They had this music on that was like, I don't want to say country rock, but it was something along that genre. And it was so overly loud, and I can't have a conversation with my family that it almost ruins the memory you're trying to make, because the music is interrupting your thought process. And now the music has hooked you, and you're listening to it, and it's like flowing and pumping within your veins and shifting the way in which you feel. The fact that atheists and secularists and humanists will deny the effects of music on the human mind when it comes to anything negative, but then only focus on the positive, blows my mind. And even as an adult, if you're listening to that trash, it affects you. The music that has the most potency on me is the corridos of Mexico, which is music of the cartels. And there was one Latino brother in the past who did a podcast where he talked about how many in the cartels do black magic. And that music, every time I hear it, it like does something to me where I'm like, I get my adrenaline going. Like it just, like they put, the sounds of like an AK going off, and like the like it just does something to where you're like, oh, I'm here. And for some reason even makes me want a beer, even though I'm not a drinker. It's strange. It really is. And I'm sure all of us have a genre or even an artist who can evoke that in us and bring forth that type of spirit in us. And that's why, if you want to control your emotions and become more stoic, cut out that music. Best thing I could do for my mental health, and as a mom, was cutting off music and then explaining the wisdom to my daughter and allowing her to understand that it's really a form of manipulation, and that you have to take a lot of wisdom and pay attention to what the artist is selling you. What is the consciousness they're pushing on you? How is it affecting your mind? Having these deep talks, because then that doesn't make them feel so isolated when they go to school and their peers are like, oh, listen to this, and they're like, nah, I'm good. People will mock Muslims for breaking away from music, but in actuality, it allows us to actually do more introspection and actually feel more philosophical, spiritual, and tuned into our own thought processes, because we are not constantly replaying a radio in our own head. It's really quite telling. Really quite telling. That's why I think it's important your partner also tries to break free from music as well. Because if someone's putting on music and you're like, ugh, and they're just like, I want to crank this up, and you're like, hey, how about we just talk? Or listen to the sounds of the road, something soothing. That's why I'm so into the sounds of like just earth, of nature. Cars, a train, even a lawnmower, the birds chirping, the crickets at night. You'd be surprised how many wonderful sounds around us are just soothing to our ears. But when we're pumping in this music, we think it's enlivening us, but it's actually like a pacifier. It's a pacifier that also is like a form of cocaine in a way. Gets you pumped up and then doesn't allow you really to finish your own thoughts and mind. And it's just quite strange. Let me know what you think. This is just a short video, but I was really examining the past and this came to my mind and I wanted to share it with you. That's what happens when you have a lot of times to reflect throughout the day and do self-improvement. It's really quite fascinating. Let me know what you think. If you like to join my blog, it's www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive. Hope to see you there.